Something about hearing that just makes me feel warm inside and just know that I'm in the right place. Like hearing that soundtrack again feels so amazing. So, what I wanted to talk about today, it's mainly my thoughts, just general thoughts. Um, and I'll stop talking whenever there's a boss fight. However, when I'm just roaming around, I just want to talk about my thoughts, really, and how I think, in a sort of sense, if that describes it right. Or am I remembering things wrong? Okay, I'm just gonna go with the Golden Sea then. Well, so my thoughts are usually very diluted and very. My head feels so light yet heavy at the same time. So I don't really know how to process thoughts in that same sense. So whenever I think stuff, I usually overthink them in a certain sense. That I just don't know how to think, and I can't process the thought of me thinking something, which feels really weird. But it feels almost, it happens so often now that I've stopped thinking about it. I hope some of you guys can relate to that, because hopefully I'm not the only one that only feels this way. Because I want to know that I'm thinking almost, but I can't. It's so annoying to like focus around thinking. So, however, I want to mention this. There is some certain subjects in school that makes my brain, oh, I can do that, then do that, then do that, and that's because I like math a lot. Just take any subject in school that you either hate or love. And for me, what I love is maths. I may not have the best grades in math, but I definitely do love maths because it makes my brain like actually think for a moment there. Um, but a subject that I might hate is Spanish. For example, I do not like Spanish, but the reason I am kind of thinking more in that is because I want to prove myself that I can almost like be good at that subject, if I say that. I, I don't really know how to describe it. I just love, I want to know that I can think. That's kind of just what I want to do. I want to know that I can think. It's such a burden and not knowing that I can't process my thoughts, really. Because whenever I talk, I use zero jab. I simply just jab. There's no brain process going through my head. Okay, hold up. Well, why are you in here? What the I'm like, let's... Oh. Well, he destroyed the entire church. And on the subject of liking school subjects, is that I love maths for the way that they introduce new stuff to you without it being tedious and annoying to learn. Because it kind of feels natural in maths, like you understand why the two things connect to each other. So if you take like multiplication and power, for example, like they obviously go hand in hand, but when you understand how to intertwine the two and how to then later on adapt power and exponential to like graphs, for example, that's when maths actually becomes like fun to do, because you like understand, you connect the two, and your brain like actually starts thinking for a moment. That's what I love about math, and that's why I enjoy this subject so much. Now I know math is like the subject that not a lot of people enjoy because they think it's hard and all, and they're not wrong. I definitely do think math is hard. However, it's because of the struggles that I've had in the past with maths that makes me want to continue and improve on myself. You can almost apply that to Elden Ring in a certain sense that if you struggle on a boss fight for so long, you might just want to continue improving on it. Like, because if I'm having a hard time, I just like think back to like Souls games and Elden Ring when I first played for the first time. Oh yeah, I forgot about this cutscene. Kind of it feels so weird because the cutscene is in during nighttime and you're in the daytime. It feels so unnatural almost. No, but I have these thoughts that I just like. They're so heavy sometimes, and I don't want to think sometimes even. So that could be partially the reason to why I don't. That I do feel this way, but at the same time, I do want to think. I do want to know what I'm thinking of, because it's kind of sad seeing all these people around you being so smart, and they obviously know what they're doing, and you're like over there, oh, I don't know what to do. I'm just sitting in a corner waiting for something to happen that I do know what to do. So that's kind of the reason I do want to think. It's super weird to say because I've never thought I would say that, but it's kind of how I feel. There's no brain process going through my head when I do stuff. It's just like autopilot mode. It's so ingrained into my brain. I've done this so many times. Just repeated actions, basically. It's just a muscle memory of me doing stuff, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. But I just want to do new stuff almost, because I want to talk about stuff that other people may have experienced too, in the sort of sense that they've struggled with. I want to maybe talk about addiction and I don't know, school. I don't know. A lot of people don't want to talk about school, but I've already done that in this video, so I mean. But I think people like don't realize that school is such a big part of your life, and if you don't take school seriously and lightheartedly at the same time, you're just not gonna have a fun time. Because if you don't take school seriously, you won't really. I mean, you obviously it's gonna be harder for you in the future to do stuff, to get a job, for example. But if you don't take it soft-heartedly and just do stuff, like you're not gonna have fun either, because that's kind of what life is all about, just having fun, doing things that you enjoy. And if this is a wake-up call to you to do stuff you enjoy, and maybe stop playing the video games you're playing for the 10th million day now in a row, or doing the same activities now in 10th million day in a row, try something new, or just like add something into it. It doesn't have to be that intriguing or interesting, or just something else that makes you break up this never-ending cycle of you doing the same repeated action over and over again. Because let's be honest, nobody wants to do that. Oh, the thought of the universe. That's something I'd like to talk about a lot. I actually love talking about the universe because the universe just fascinates me in a way that nothing else does. It's so crazy to think that our universe is so big, yet our Earth is so small. Thank you for me, by the way. And yeah, that's enough. That's enough for this fight. But the thought of the universe being so everlasting and expanding is so crazy to me. I'm always fascinated by black holes. That is something that always gets my mind going and my thoughts going, actually. That it just feels unreal, which is unreal. It is actually, but it is real at the same time. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's so unreal and real at the same time. The thought is unreal, but reality is real. And the thought of the world just like being infinite because of black holes. Black holes are everlasting, and well, they're not everlasting technically. They're actually they can expand or just like get smaller, but they'll always exist because a dying star has like infinite energy. I think I'm not a science I don't think I don't have a science major or anything or a physics major, but it's kind of ironic that I'm talking about thoughts and not really being able to think that often. And I have a psychology. I'm going for a psychology major,
Welcome.
where you have to
Yes, right this way.
like think about other people's thoughts. It's kind of ironic, you know. I think it's kind of fascinating how also the universe has allowed us to not look into the fourth dimension, but just know that it exists. That's pretty crazy if you think about it. That we know that there's a fourth dimension, we just like cannot fathom that it does exist. If you guys want to look into it, it's pretty interesting. I want to say because we can. There's this theory about the fourth dimension that I've seen going around there that we obviously see the world from a two-dimensional perspective, in that the two-dimensional becomes three-dimensional when you put them together. That's how we see the world. So we live in a 3D world where we look from the second dimension, basically. Is the best way to describe it as. But there's this theory that um, there is obviously a fourth dimension, but we can look into it. So there might be people living in the fourth dimension just looking down on us, thinking how idiotic we are for not looking into it, because we managed to figure out that it exists, but we can't look into it. I think that's really funny to think about. And I recommend you guys actually look into the fourth dimension, because it is pretty interesting, the stuff they go through. I'll fight this guy down here. Wow, I think we broke the NPC. He tried to keep swinging. Help! Help! I love editing videos because that's like something I could be really proud of, and I think the lack of proudness in this world is definitely noticeable. It's definitely noticeable nowadays seeing people not being proud of themselves because they don't think that people recognize them for the small things that they do, and that makes them demoralized and not making and stuff. That is actually pretty helpful for themselves. But you just know that there's probably someone out there appreciating what you do. They may not think that you do, or you may not think that they do, but there's somebody out there, I promise you, that thinks of you. Like, I can't fathom that, but there is probably someone out there that actually cares of me a lot. It's not my mother or father. I'm always scared of having the thought that my friends don't actually like me. That's probably the biggest thought that I have usually going around, that I'm scared that my friends don't like me because I change sometimes, for the better or for the worse, that they may not like, and that scares me a lot.
Foul tarnished.
In search of the Elden Ring, emboldened by the flame of ambition. he's too tough sometimes. I wanna try parry him. Watch me. Okay. No parry. There we go. Crap. Oh well. We got one parry. We got one parry. I wanna try to get a full stagger off of parries. Even though this shield is not the greatest for parrying, but I mean, it's better than nothing, right? It's better than nothing. But I think I'm gonna end it right there. Now it's kind of embarrassing. The thought of embarrassment is something that I struggle with too. Just feeling embarrassed all the time for things that you think you're doing right, and that people associate with not being right is kind of scary sometimes. But embarrassment is usually just the way that you think and you interpret. So yeah.